when we lose someone who means the world to us, we don't just grieve the person, we grieve the profound impact they had on our lives. The emptiness left behind is not simply because they are no longer present in our day-to-day activities. It's because of the very specific role they played in shaping our lives, our identity, and our view of the world. That's where the real pain lies. It is often said that we don't truly know the value of something until it's gone. The loss of a favorite person makes us confront that truth in its rawest form. It's not just about missing their laughter, the way they would share stories, or their comforting advice. What we are missing is the deep emotional connection we shared with them, the bond that transcended time and distance, and the way they made us feel understood and important. This connection, unique and irreplaceable, shaped the person we became. To understand why the loss feels so unbearable, it's important to first reflect on why this person was so meaningful to us in the first place. What exactly did they bring to our lives that no one else could? It could be that they made us feel safe when the world felt chaotic, that they gave us strength during times of doubt, or simply that their presence made us feel loved in a way that was genuine and unwavering. This person didn't just occupy space in our world, they added meaning to it, in ways both big and small. For many of us, the favorite person in our life is more than just a friend, a partner, or a family member. They are a source of wisdom, comfort, and even inspiration. They are the one we turn to when we need advice, the one whose voice we crave in moments of silence, the one whose perspective shifts our own thinking. Without them, life can feel like a puzzle missing a key piece, a melody missing its most beautiful note. The loss is particularly painful because we often find ourselves asking, why did they have to be the one to go? Why this person, whose importance in my life is immeasurable? This question doesn't have an easy answer, and it's one that remains unanswered. What remains instead is the deep acknowledgement that we were fortunate to have known them, to have had the privilege of their love, care, and guidance. The why of their presence in our lives was not a question of chance, but one of purpose. They weren't just part of our life by accident. They served a role, fulfilled a need, and brought out the best in us in ways that no one else could. It's crucial, though, to recognize that the loss of a favorite person doesn't negate the impact they had on our lives. They may no longer be physically present, but the imprint they left on our hearts, minds, and souls remains forever. Their influence lives on in the lessons they taught, the values they instilled, and the moments they shared with us. These things are not lost with their departure. Instead, they are what we carry forward. When we lose our favorite person, we are faced with the challenge of finding a new way to move forward without them. But the journey ahead is not about getting over the loss. It's about discovering how to honor the profound influence they had on us by continuing to live in a way that reflects the values they shared with us. The loss is painful, yes, but it also carries within it the opportunity to remember and celebrate the person they were and to allow their legacy to live on through us. In times of loss, our grief becomes a reflection of the love and connection that once existed. It is in these moments that we truly understand the weight of what someone meant to us, not because of the sorrow we feel, but because of the joy they brought into our lives and the profound impact they made simply by being there when we needed them most. When we lose someone we cherish, it's as if a part of us is suddenly missing, and the world feels incomplete. The gap left behind isn't just physical. It goes beyond the empty chair at the dinner table, the silence where once there was laughter, or the absence of a voice we used to hear every day. It's a deeper, emotional emptiness that can be felt in ways words cannot fully capture. This void, unlike anything we experience in our daily lives, is not something we can easily fill. It's not about replacing what was lost, because that person is irreplaceable. Instead, we are left to navigate a world that seems a little colder, quieter, and more difficult to face without them. The void is not just an absence, but a disruption of our sense of normalcy. Our routines, once marked by their presence, suddenly feel foreign and unfamiliar. We find ourselves instinctively reaching out to share something with them, only to realize they are no longer there. The small things that once seemed mundane now feel overwhelmingly lonely. Whether it's a walk we took together, a joke they would always make, or the way they offered support during difficult times, everything becomes a reminder that they are gone. It's like the world has shifted, and we are trying to find our footing on ground that no longer feels stable. This absence goes beyond mere habit. It's a kind of emotional recalibration that feels like it takes everything we have to adjust to. We start asking questions like, how do I go on without them? And what do I do now? The answer is not simple because it is not just about carrying on with life as usual. It is about learning to live with the absence, acknowledging that the world has changed in a way that will never be the same again. Their absence doesn't just take away their physical presence. It feels like it takes away a part of our emotional strength, a part of our sense of security. It's in the quiet moments when we feel this absence the most. It's in the early mornings when we think about how they used to greet us, or in the evenings when we would share our day with them. These small moments, once comforting, are now tinged with sadness. The things that once made us smile are now reminders of what we've lost. In a sense, we feel unmoored, adrift in a sea of memories that we can no longer share with the person who gave them meaning. The gap they leave behind isn't something that fades with time. It's something that becomes part of the fabric of our existence, something we learn to live with even if it never truly goes away. For some, the void can feel like an unhealable wound. We may feel as though we have to be constantly busy or distracted, trying to fill the space they left behind with other people, activities, or material things. But these distractions rarely help. They may provide temporary relief, but they don't address the deep emotional need to have them back, to hear their voice, to feel their warmth again. What we don't realize is that in seeking to fill that void, we may inadvertently overlook what we truly need: to grieve, to sit with the pain, and to allow ourselves to feel the depth of the loss. And yet, while this void is immense, it is also a testament to the significance of the person we lost. The depth of the emptiness we feel is a direct reflection of how much they meant to us. The more profound the connection, the deeper the absence. The pain of losing them is a sign of the love that existed, the impact they had on our lives, and the incredible gift they were. The void they leave behind reminds us of how rich and full our lives were with them in it. In the end, it is this very void, difficult as it is to face, that keeps their memory alive, because it proves just how deeply they touched our hearts. When someone we love passes away, it can feel as though we've lost not only a person, but a wealth of knowledge, guidance, and wisdom. Yet, in the midst of that sorrow, we begin to realize that the lessons they left behind are the most enduring part of their presence in our lives. These lessons, shaped by their actions, words, and way of living, don't vanish with their departure. Instead, they become an integral part of who we are and continue to shape us long after they are gone. The beauty of these lessons is that they are not always grand or obvious. Often, they are found in the simplest of gestures and the quietest of moments. It might be something as simple as the way they handled adversity, with grace, strength, and an unwavering belief that challenges could be overcome. Watching how they navigated their own struggles taught us resilience, patience, and the importance of maintaining a positive outlook, even when life felt heavy. These lessons, though learned silently, are often the ones that have the deepest impact. It's in how they showed up for others, without fanfare or expectation, that we understand the true value of kindness and generosity. Then there are the lessons about connection. A favorite person often teaches us what it means to truly listen, to be present in the moment, and to offer empathy and support without judgment. They make us realize that relationships are not about the quantity of time spent, but the quality of how we connect. The way they made us feel seen and heard becomes a guide for how we interact with others, encouraging us to approach relationships with the same depth and understanding. Their ability to nurture bonds and create meaningful moments is something we carry with us, an invisible blueprint for how to live more connected lives. Through them, we also learn the power of vulnerability and authenticity. They show us that it's okay to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to embrace our flaws. The way they accepted themselves, and by extension accepted others, teaches us the importance of self-compassion and how much more enriching life is when we stop pretending to be something we're not. They showed us that true strength doesn't come from being flawless, but from owning our weaknesses and learning from them. This is a lesson that continues to resonate, reminding us that we don't need to be perfect to make a difference or to be loved. A favorite person also teaches us about the importance of living with purpose. They often had a way of focusing on what truly mattered in life, whether that was their family, their passions, or their values. They didn't get bogged down by distractions or the trivial things that so often occupy our time. Instead, they taught us the value of intention, to live with clarity, to pursue what brings us joy, and to prioritize what is truly important. Their example becomes a reminder that our time is limited and that the way we choose to spend it is a reflection of what we value most. But perhaps the most enduring lesson they leave behind is the reminder that love is the greatest force we can offer the world. Whether through acts of service, words of encouragement, or simply by being present, they showed us that love isn't always loud or grandiose. It's the quiet, steady, and consistent acts that make the most significant impact. They taught us that love is an action, not just a feeling, and that it has the power to heal, strengthen, and unite us in ways we can never fully measure. As we continue forward without them, we find that these lessons, they are carried in the way we respond to challenges, in the way we treat others, and in the way we navigate the complexities of life. We may miss the person, but we carry their teachings with us, allowing them to guide us through the moments when we feel lost or uncertain. In this way, they continue to shape our lives long after they have gone. There is a certain power in simply being present, something we often take for granted until we face the absence of someone who truly knew how to be there for us. When a favorite person enters our lives, it's not always the grand gestures or the extraordinary moments that leave the deepest impact. More often than not, it's their quiet, consistent presence that holds the greatest meaning. In their company, we feel seen, understood, and supported in ways that are hard to articulate. The power of presence lies in the way they make us feel, not just in what they say or do, but in the simple fact that they are there, fully engaged with no distractions. It's the way they listen to us without interruption, the way they seem to know exactly when we needed a comforting word or when silence was all we required. Their presence was a form of reassurance, an unspoken promise that we weren't alone, no matter what life threw our way. In those moments, their attention was the most valuable gift. The world could be chaotic, relationships could be complicated, and life could feel overwhelming, but when they were there, everything seemed to slow down. There was a calm that came from knowing they were fully with us in mind and spirit, and that we didn't have to navigate the world on our own. The power of presence extends beyond the physical act of being there. It's about how they showed up for us, without expectation or judgment. They made us feel safe to express ourselves, to be vulnerable, and to share our deepest fears, dreams, and frustrations. This kind of presence didn't require us to be perfect or to have everything figured out. It was simply about being ourselves, flaws and all, and knowing that we were accepted just as we were. The gift of their undivided attention made us feel important, not because we were in the spotlight, but because we were worthy of being seen, heard, and valued in our most authentic form. What's even more powerful is how their presence could extend beyond words. It wasn't always the advice they gave or the solutions they offered that made a difference. Sometimes it was just sitting beside us during a difficult time, not saying anything at all, but offering the kind of comfort that only someone who truly understood could provide. In those moments, their presence spoke louder than anything they could have said. It was a reminder that sometimes simply being there for someone is enough. It was the quiet support that grounded us, reminding us that we didn't need to face life's challenges alone. This kind of presence is rare and profound. We often get caught up in the busyness of life, running from one task to the next, juggling responsibilities, and constantly looking ahead. But those who know how to be present with us teach us the importance of slowing down, of pausing to truly connect with the people in our lives. They show us that the most meaningful moments don't necessarily come from the big milestones or achievements, but from the small, everyday interactions that make us feel understood and cared for. Their presence becomes a reminder that we should be more mindful, more intentional in our relationships, and more focused on the people who matter most. The loss of someone who truly understood the power of presence can leave us feeling like a part of us has been torn away. We may find ourselves longing for those quiet moments when we could simply be together, no words necessary. But even in their absence, their presence lingers. The way they made us feel continues to influence how we show up for others. We learn to be more present, more attentive, and more empathetic in our relationships because we understand the value of being fully there for someone else, just as they were fully there for us. The power of presence, once experienced, becomes something we carry with us, a gift that never fades, even in the face of loss. When we experience the loss of someone who is a central part of our lives, it's natural to feel a deep sense of emptiness, as if a chapter of our story has abruptly ended. Many people may tell us that we need to move on or get over it, as though time itself will eventually erase the pain. But the truth is, moving on isn't the goal, nor is it a healthy way to approach grief. Instead, what we need is to learn how to move forward. Moving forward doesn't mean we forget the person or stop feeling the loss. It means we find a way to live with it, to carry their memory with us, and to keep moving toward a future where their absence is acknowledged but doesn't hold us back. When we are grieving, we often feel like we're expected to get back to normal, to resume life as it was before the loss. But the reality is, there is no going back. The person we lost was not just a part of our past, they were an integral part of our present, and their absence fundamentally shifts the way we experience the world. Moving forward means accepting that our lives have been changed forever, and that change is not something to be erased. Instead, it's something to be understood, embraced, and integrated into who we are becoming. Moving forward isn't about pretending that everything is fine or pushing our emotions aside. In fact, it involves facing the pain head-on and allowing ourselves to feel it. Grief isn't something that can be quickly fixed or discarded. It's a process that needs space, time, and patience. In learning to move forward, we allow ourselves the grace to experience the full range of emotions that come with loss. Sadness, anger, confusion, even moments of joy. These emotions, rather than being a sign of weakness, are a testament to how deeply we loved and how profoundly the person affected us. They are a part of our healing, and they allow us to honor the bond we shared. As we move forward, we also begin to recognize that the lessons, the memories, and the love that the person left behind are not just remnants of the past, they are part of our future. These things are not lost when the person leaves, they are carried with us. In this way, their influence continues to shape us, guiding us through our own challenges, triumphs, and growth. Moving forward is not about abandoning those lessons or letting go of the connection. Instead, it's about allowing their memory to propel us forward in ways that honor their legacy. Sometimes, moving forward means redefining what normal looks like. It may involve finding new routines or discovering new ways to fill the space they once occupied. It's okay to not have all the answers or to feel uncertain about how to navigate life without them. What matters is that we don't stop moving. Life continues, even in the midst of loss. And the key to moving forward is learning how to embrace the future while still carrying the memory of the past. There is a profound strength in moving forward after loss. It doesn't mean that we are erasing the love or the impact of the person we lost. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about demonstrating how much they mattered by living our lives in a way that honors what they gave us. It's about finding ways to live with their memory, to let it be a source of strength, not sorrow. We may never fully move on in the traditional sense, but we don't have to. The goal isn't to forget, it's to keep moving forward, finding ways to grow, evolve, and keep their influence alive in our lives. Moving forward is the act of continuing the journey, even with the weight of loss. It's about building a new kind of normal, one that recognizes and respects the absence, but also keeps our hearts open to the future. It's about carrying the love we shared, the lessons we learned, and the memories we treasure, and using them as a source of guidance, strength, and inspiration as we step into a world that is different but still full of possibilities. Pain has a way of forcing us to confront the depths of our emotions, often in ways we never anticipated. When we lose someone we love, that pain can feel overwhelming, all-encompassing, and unbearable at times. The loss is not just of a person, but of a piece of ourselves, a part of our world that no longer exists. It's easy to become consumed by that pain, to let it define us and cloud our future. However, in the midst of our grief, there lies a powerful opportunity, the ability to turn that pain into purpose. Turning pain into purpose doesn't mean that the pain goes away or that we suddenly feel better. Instead, it means finding a way to use the rawness of our emotions to create something meaningful, something that carries forward the love, lessons, and essence of the person we lost. Pain in this context becomes a catalyst for transformation. It challenges us to look beyond the sorrow and ask ourselves, how can I take what I'm feeling right now and channel it into something that honors their memory? How can I turn this heartache into something that serves a greater good? At its core, turning pain into purpose involves a shift in perspective. It's about recognizing that while we cannot change the fact that someone is no longer with us, we can choose how we move forward. We can choose to carry their legacy in a way that transcends the hurt and loss, whether through helping others who are grieving, pursuing a cause that was meaningful to them, or embodying the values they instilled in us. We can take the pain we feel and transform it into action. In doing so, we honor them not by mourning their absence, but by continuing to live out the ideals they held dear. This process requires courage, it requires vulnerability, it means allowing ourselves to lean into the discomfort, to face the pain head on, and to use it as fuel to create something beautiful, impactful, or meaningful. In many ways, it's an act of resilience. It's the refusal to be defined solely by loss, but instead to be defined by how we respond to it. Rather than allowing grief to consume us, we take the lessons, the love, and the light of the person we lost and let that be what drives us forward. Turning pain into purpose also means understanding that grief is not linear, nor does it have a specific endpoint. It is an ongoing journey, one that ebbs and flows. There will be days when the weight of the loss feels heavier, and there will be moments when it seems like the pain might overtake us. But in those moments, we remind ourselves of the bigger picture, that the love we shared with this person is not lost, and it continues to inspire, guide, and shape who we are becoming. Every step we take toward turning that pain into purpose is an affirmation that their impact on our lives will never fade. It becomes part of our story, intertwined with who we are, and it serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, we have the power to make something meaningful from our suffering. The power to turn pain into purpose also lies in the connection it creates with others. When we channel our grief into something positive, we often find ourselves connecting with others who are going through similar struggles. Our shared experience of loss becomes a bridge, a way to unite us in our vulnerability and our humanity. By offering support, sharing our journey, or simply listening to someone else's pain, we find that our own suffering can create a ripple effect, helping others heal as well. Ultimately, turning pain into purpose is a way of transforming what is seemingly negative into something that can serve a greater good. It is a way to ensure that the person we lost continues to live on in the way we carry their memory, in the actions we take, and in the choices we make. It's a powerful way to ensure that their impact is never forgotten and that their presence in some form remains a part of our lives, guiding us as we navigate a world without them. Through this process, we begin to see that even in the darkest moments, there is an opportunity to turn our pain into something that holds meaning, that matters, and that will endure.